Welcome. Okay, welcome to a gentle full moon restorative situation practice today. The full moon is so powerful. I'm feeling it in all of the best ways. I love the light of illumination always. And I love practicing within the context of the lunar cycles. I find it to be very helpful for learning how to navigate the ebb and flow of life. So today's practice is going to involve a lot of props. We're going to do a restorative practice. If you know how to practice yin yoga and you don't have any props, you could also do these shapes to some degree as more of an intensified yin practice. Today, I want to keep it a little more light, a little more simple, and you can practice this any time of day. So if you are coming from the States today, it's obviously nighttime for my East Coast friends. It's the morning time for me here. But this practice should help you to really wind down if you do happen to be up late and you're on YouTube and you're thinking, oh, maybe I should, get a little more breath into my body. One thing that I love about practicing yoga, there are many things that I love, but it's the integration and the assimilation of life. We don't have to have huge things to always be integrating. We're constantly integrating. We're constantly moving through different experiences, whether those experiences are very subtle and very calm or very loud and very disruptive and abrupt, whether that's a positive disruption or a lower negative disruption. Sometimes we just think, oh, I have to integrate these really big moments. And what the teachings of yoga really share with us is that no, we have to integrate daily. We have to integrate, we have to give our bodies and the system that lies within the body an opportunity to really assimilate. And what this does is it keeps us a little less attached and gripping to the past, to the thing that happened yesterday. And it allows us to show up with a bit more presence in our now life. As well, it keeps us a little more out of the need to constantly be pulling from the future or projecting towards the future, which can, create a lot of anxiety and unrest for the mind. And we know that the mind impacts the body impacts the mind. So practicing yoga is a great way to find a bit more balance, find a bit more presence. And through presence comes relaxation. And relaxation is not just tuning out, right? Like sometimes it's like, oh, I'm relaxing. I'm just going to like binge watch some show. And that's great because you're kind of tuning out from whatever your, pattern was. But also it's not really conscious relaxation as much as you consciously feel, right, that you're making a very conscious choice to do that, sure. But we want to get the nervous system more consciously relaxed, right? More regulated. We want to learn how to consciously regulate the system. And while there is an advantage to just kind of offloading the pressures of life and relaxing in that way or in other types of ways, a conscious relaxation is going to bring so much power to us, right? Because what is the saying? I love this saying that the wealthiest person in the room is the one who is the most relaxed, right? So we misconstrue wealth and success with being really busy, multitasking, doing all of these things, and we're putting on so much stress. And we feel this sense of like successful entitlement because we're so stressed out, we're so busy. And that is just an egoic situation, right? Probably projected onto us. But if we think about true wealth, right, true prosperity, there's a sense of, I don't need to fight this. I don't need to struggle. I need to understand what is happening in the space, in the many spaces that we inhabit, and I am going to find a solution. I'm going to strategize and find a new solution to move through whatever that obstacle might be. And that comes, right? True solution comes from true balance and relaxation, not becoming a zombie, not just tuning out and, doing that thing you kind of need to do sometimes to just turn on and turn off, but to really just be at peace. So we're going to work on this today in the practice. So again, thank you so much for being here. Please remember to leave a comment if you are inspired by this type of live streaming of the practice. Please feel free to follow, subscribe, do all of the things that help the ecosystem thrive here. Thank you and welcome. Let's go ahead and find a nice, comfortable seat. Begin to tune in to the breath. Drop in. Maybe take a little swallow. Let the muscles of your face relax. Let's get the breath a little bit bigger without any gripping. Just see if you can take a deeper inhale and a longer exhale. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Bring the hands together at the heart center in prayer mudra. We'll come together with one Om, breathing in. Inhale. And exhale, gently bowing your head towards your hands, towards your heart, offering all of the thoughts of the mind into the power of the heart. Slowly taking the hands down to the lap and coming up tall through the crown of the head. Welcome, welcome. So we will start with my favorite, the heart opening supported fish pose. I'm going to use a bolster. You could use a towel rolled up. You could use a pillow. I'm going to bring a block slightly behind the bolster, and I'm going to take this little pillow. You could also use a little bit of a small towel there. It's a very soft pillow, so it doesn't create too much lift in the head. And what I want to do is just lay over this bolster. It's pretty low, but my seat is to the ground, and I'm going to lay over it and find my head on this block. You could also take the block to the higher level if that's helpful. My arms are cactus. They're heavy to the ground. My shoulders are falling towards the floor, but they're not touching the ground, at least with the height that I have of this bolster. If your bolster is a little more shallow, your shoulders might touch the ground, and that's okay. And I'm just going to watch the clock so that I know our timing here. As you make your way into this shape, maybe open the legs a little bit wider. Just check in, maybe tuck the chin. You want the neck, the throat to be nice and long. And the idea here is that we're just feeling a bit of support through the upper ribs and the chest, around the shoulders. The lungs have a little more support here to expand. You should feel that your seat is heavy to the earth. It should be touching the ground. You can even tuck your tailbone a bit to lengthen out the low back. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time together, breathing in and breathing out. And we'll just drift for some time into our own process. Stay with your breath. Feel the parts of the body that want to get a little bit closer to the earth. Notice any sensations that are rising to the surface. As you feel those sensations wherever they're at in the physical body, try to breathe in to that space. Explore how the breath can seemingly create more space around that sensation. And maybe there is a way to mentally invite the sensation to soften. Or if you're feeling a sense of tightness or gripping, inviting that gripping to soften, to let go, to release. A little deeper with the breath now. Long inhales, long and gentle exhales. Keep focusing on the breath, keep focusing on the feeling, the sensation in the body. If you feel like you want to take a breath out of the mouth and maybe add some sound, this can also help to release anything that might be moving to the surface. Take a few more conscious inhales and exhales. We're almost done here. Let's do one more breath in. And one more breath out. Very good. You can just slowly step your feet to the floor. Depending on the thickness of the padding underneath you, you're going to want to first tuck the chin, remove the block from under the head, and then slowly, slowly lift your hips up. And we're just going to slide the bolster underneath the tailbone, the sacrum. So think the flat part of the lower back. And you want your seat to be fully on your bolster or on your pillow here. And just take a moment. You can let the knees come to touch and the feet can widen. Let your shoulders relax now that the shoulders are touching the ground. And we're going to slowly take the legs up towards the sky. So once you lift your legs up, if you feel like you need that bolster to be a little bit further down the back body, then you just take your feet to the floor, lift your hips, slide it slightly forward. And as you lift up, see if that feels a bit more supported. You want to feel support here. You don't need to use a bolster, but this is just really nice. If your legs are super stressed out, you might need a wall behind you to help support you. And even if the legs are leaning a bit, that's okay. So we are just going to relax the knees a bit. So the knees can be soft. You're not flexing the feet, you're relaxing around the ankles. The arms can be open like Shavasana, and just check in with your shoulders. Maybe you need to tuck them a bit under. Tuck the chin, throat and neck are lengthened. If it's better for you to keep your eyes open, try to gaze at the space between the toes, maybe one point on the ceiling, and just keep a very soft focus so we're not becoming super rigid or stressed out in the optic nerve. Otherwise, you can close your eyes if that feels safe for you. And just rest here. Allow the fluids to flow from the feet and from the calves and the shins, moving down the legs towards the heart, towards the head. Take a deeper breath, getting more centered on the breath. Keep a sense of relaxation through the legs, even though you are holding yourself here. Relax the belly. Notice the feeling as the legs are emptying out all of that fluid. You might feel some tingling or some light sensation. Keep with your breath, not too much longer here. Let's go deeper with the breath now. Trying to bring our full presence here. If the mind was starting to wander or starting to obstacleize you, rein it in, breathe deeper. One more inhale. And exhale, slowly, slowly bend the knees. You can take your feet down to the mat. I'm going to lift my seat, take the bolster, the padding out, and slowly bring the seat and the spine down. Walk my legs out and just take a little moment here in Shavasana to neutralize the spine. And feel the energy as the fluids flow back through the legs, through all of the meridians and the nadis and the lower body. Breathe in and breathe out. We're going to come up to sit. I'm going to step my feet to the floor one at a time and then just roll over to one side and use my hands to gently and slowly come up. And just take a moment there. So, yeah, take a moment. You can feel, right, the energy flowing through the system and feel already in just those few poses, these few moments that we've been together, how much more open you might feel. You might feel like there's a bit more peace in the system, which is what we're really going for. So it's always good to be in awe of how little we can do and how much can shift in such a short amount of time. We are going to do a posture that can be just a little bit more challenging, perhaps, for some of us, especially if we have tight hips and also tight hamstrings. But it's really important that we practice every day stretching through the backs of the legs. There's a very special nerve that runs through the legs, that runs through the whole system, right? And it penetrates the mind, right? As well as the physical functioning of the body. So a little bit of this stretching goes a very long way. We're going to do a wide leg forward fold. So we want to take the legs out nice and wide. And for today's practice, I don't want you to worry about flexing so much and pressing the backs of the legs down and kind of holding it in this way. We'll take it with a little more of like a yin restorative style. So my legs are going to do what they do. If you have super tight hamstrings, like even sitting like this is very uncomfortable for you, what you want to think about doing is rolling up a blanket or a towel, right, or a pillow and bringing it underneath both knees so that it's even, right? You have an even sense of support. And that's going to take a little bit of the stress out, which can be helpful when you're folding forward. As well, we are going to use padding in front of us today. And if you've tuned in before, right, sometimes this just a little bit forward is the forward fold. You might not be pancaking your whole body down to the ground like a seasoned ballerina or a gymnast, right? We're just trying to live in these bodies. So we want to work with where we're at. I'm going to do a little side view so you can see me a bit more. I'm going to take these blocks underneath this. You could do it forward. You could also, depending, right? You could also do it to the side like this. And then you've got your hands here. Maybe a pillow is near you, just in case we find that helpful. And it can be good to just pull the flesh a bit back and take a breath in. And then as you exhale, you're just going to come forward. I'm going to grab my phone to keep track of time. And maybe you just stay here for the first however long, right? And kind of sense what's happening. I can feel a lot of sensation in the backs of the legs. I don't want to push that. I want to breathe. close my eyes, feel what's happening in the body. Give it a little time to open. Try to keep that sense of relaxation in the muscles of the face. So we're not grunting, we're not pushing, we're not grinding our teeth, we're relaxing. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the hands. And then maybe there's a moment where you can go a little more forward into the fold. It doesn't have to be the deepest stretch in order for it to be the most effective. Let it be gentle and let your breath be deep. Where can I soften the gripping in my hips? Can I release a little bit more around the knees, the ankles, the soles of the feet? Can I release my glutes? Are my glutes gripping? Are they holding on for dear, dear life? Can I release them, soften, and breathe? A few more moments here. If you need to change the padding at all, maybe you're starting to open and you can take the padding a little bit further, or you could even lower it. Make a conscious adjustment and then bring yourself back into stillness. And breathe into your spine, your lower back, the kidneys, the back of the heart, the space of receptivity. The outer edges of the legs, the sciatic nerve. Breathe into it. Let's give it one more round of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Slowly, slowly start to pick yourself up. Lift yourself up. Yeah. Good. And then just bring the hands back behind you. so that you just lean a little bit back in space. So that was about 5 minutes in total. It's good to know how long we spend in some of these shapes so you can start to recognize your edge, where your threshold is. So I'm just gently moving through my feet and the backs of the knees. I'm going to slowly step the feet to the floor. You can even take one hand behind the back of the thigh. And then this little windshield wiper action is really nice. A deep breath in, open the mouth, releasing any tension consciously. Beautiful. So our next shape will be usually a favorite, which is a child's pose shape. Very simple, very easy usually for most of us, but not universally. So if you struggle with this shape, I understand. We will support you. We're going to use some props. I am going to actually set my blocks on their higher level, not the highest. This would be the highest, so think medium, and this is low. And I'm going to bring my bolster on top of the blocks like this. So it's up pretty high because what I want today is quite a bit of support for my hips, and I don't want to feel like too deep and squished in the shape. If you want it deeper, go deeper. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of bring myself up onto the bolster and then ease my seat down towards the heels. So be mindful if you feel like this jabs a little too much into your belly. I feel like I have some space here. And what happens is with this height, I can really let my shoulders fall to the ground. Now, if you feel like it's too high, adjust the blocks and take a moment to make those adjustments. You can just turn your head to whichever side feels good for you. Oh, here, I forgot about the microphone. So we'll just keep it to the side where you can still hear me. Make any of those little adjustments and let's settle into the breath. I want you to embrace a sense of surrender here. Like the safety that a mother and father give to the child, where you can just kind of curl up and feel held. Feel held by the props underneath you. Feel held by the earth itself. And it's that sense of support that creates that sense of safety that helps us to regulate the nervous system, to come out of the anxiousness, to come out of the fear and the scarcity. And we can create that for ourselves every time we do this practice, just by inviting in that sense of safety and taking the props, using the pose as a practice of feeling safe. Going into the breath a little deeper. Relax your jaw. Relax the eyes. Consciously turn your head to the opposite side. Make any adjustments here that you need to make. And allow yourself to ease back into the breath. Let yourself fall towards the earth. A few more deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe it out. Let's let it go. And slowly start to walk your hands in and come up. Come onto the heels for a moment. Make those adjustments. Set your bolster off to the side. And I like to just shift my seat to one side and then take the legs out. Relax the legs, move a bit through the ankles. It can sometimes feel a little bit much on the tops of the feet. If you have any, issues getting into any of these shapes, just leave me a comment and I can, make sure to walk you through how to use the props to support you a bit more. If I haven't really done that or I've missed a little bit of that or ever in the streams, let me know. Okay, so let's come into a supported goddess pose, and then we'll go into goddess pose, we'll go into Shavasana from here. We don't have to necessarily have this, but it's nice to have a bolster that I'm gonna lay back on so that my whole spine is supported. It's a little bit different from how we started, which was a bit more dramatic into the heart. This is gonna be just like an even sort of lift and support. We will take a pillow or a blanket. This is going to be for the head. And I'm going to take the soles of the feet together. The knees are open like a butterfly. And even if I'm super open in the hips, a little bit of support is nice for the body. You don't want to feel that you're working to stretch and open. What that is doing is it's putting a little more stress into the tissue, and we want to feel a lot of support in this practice today, yeah? So a little less needing to feel the stretch in this particular moment, and a little more feeling supported, that this is enough, that what we're doing is enough. So let's see if we can practice that. I know it's difficult. Sometimes we want to just feel the intensity all the time. I'm going to tuck my tailbone. I'm going to lay my body down. I'm going to adjust this pillow under just the very back of the skull. And I might even adjust my feet now that I'm on the bolster. Tuck the tailbone a bit, lengthen out the lower spine. This is nice. These blocks are kind of under the thigh and under the shin, more so than the knee. So I don't feel any like hard bone into the blocks. Your arms, you can open them, tuck the shoulders a bit under. The heart is even more supported here. Oh, this is beautiful. If you have a little eye pillow, you might add that. Tuck your chin so the neck is lengthened, it's not jetting up. And let's just be here for a few minutes. Tapping into the frequency of the goddess. Ooh, very powerful, very healing. And this is not a pose solely for the feminine, right? This is also for the masculine. Let's go with the breath. Release any tension. Release all of your responsibilities for this moment in time. Release the rigidity. Release the fear. Bring your mind's eye to the space that we call the Svadhisthana chakra, the second chakra. You want to think below your hips and above your pubic bone. And see if you can feel an energetic rising in this space. Invite that energy, which is a very potent, healing energy. Invite that energy to move through your entire body, to move into the spaces that could use this energy. Allow it to flow. Breathe in and exhale. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Beautiful. We're going to slowly take the legs long, one at a time. You can rest here on the bolster for Shavasana. It's totally fine. Or you could remove the bolster and come flat onto your back. I'm going to keep the bolster for my practice today, and we'll just rest a few moments here. Nothing too wild. We've been very restored, I think. But Shavasana is just the ultimate practice of letting go, just releasing all of the to-dos, release the titles, release it, let it go. Become one with the sacred fire. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. And try to come out of your Shavasana slowly, mindfully moving through the fingers and the toes, the wrists and the ankles, the knees and the elbows, the hips and the shoulders, and just like a gentle shifting of the head from right to left, nothing too big or extreme. You can stretch your arms above your head, and we're just sending the chi through the 13 sacred joints of the body. Getting the energy to flow in all of this space that you just created. Step your feet to the floor, roll over to one side. That might mean rolling off of the bolster, shifting some support out of the way. And this moment of lying on the side, wrap your arm around you, just kind of hold yourself, say thank you. Thank you, body, for being healthy. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you to me, my spirit, my soul, showing up. Press your hands into the floor. And let's bring ourselves up. We made it. Come into a simple cross-legged seat. Use any padding to support you. Adjust. Make those adjustments. So we've arrived here. Gyan Mudra. Let's bring the hands face up. Some people call this Chin Mudra. Close the eyes and just take a moment here. Feel what you feel. Feel the space that you were able to create in a very short amount of time. Feel the impact of your breath. Let's bring ourselves just a little more consciously present into the heart. Allow the heart to expand. Feel the peace. Bringing the hands together at the heart center in prayer mudra. Extending the great benefits of our practice beyond ourselves, that others might also benefit from our time here, that our practice in some way can be of service. Praying for peace and positive solutions for all. We'll close with one Om, breathing in. And gently bowing towards ourselves, bowing towards each other. Namaste, namaskar, shanti, shalom, pash, peace, peace, peace. Thank you for practicing with me. If you have any questions or you need any support in any of these shapes, feel free to leave a little comment, a little hello, a little hey. It's helpful for the algorithm. It's helpful for me to continue to just offer these practices. I pray that you find benefit, and I wish you peace and love and prosperity in your life. Much love and many, many blessings to you. Thank you.